And right now we're joined by Herald Tribune opinion editor Tom Tryon. Tom, thanks for joining us. Now, you wrote an editorial about this very subject, and it's alarming, but what prompted you to want to take this to the paper?
Sure. Three things. One is the story itself, which, you know, kind of anecdotal evidence of the numbers that we've been hearing about. I mean, 3 overdoses in 3 days at this one house, the multiple calls, the overdoses at that place. The second was a very informative graphic in the New York Times where they compared heroin deaths, well, overdoses, I'm sorry, with car crashes, HIV deaths. And the bottom line is that in 2015, the latest year for the national statistics, 52,000 overdose deaths in this country, more than vehicle crashes and deaths by gun homicide.
So it is a full-blown epidemic. And
yeah, the Times called it the worst drug overdose epidemic in the history of the United States.
Yeah, it's just really disturbing. We know Manatee County led Florida in a category a couple years ago in 2015. Just
right, and the numbers,
the alarm
you know, and if you look at the Times had information on the 15 to 44-year-old cohorts in Manatee and Sarasota counties. 41% of the deaths in Manatee of that cohort were from overdose, 34% in Sarasota County. So it gives you just a grasp of the severity, particularly for that age group.
It's really alarming.
It is alarming, and I mean, it keeps continuing to get worse. We keep seeing arrests, and we're making progress, but still, it's still an epidemic. I mean, where do we go from here?
Right. Well, most of the experts you talk to talk about intervention, interdiction of supplies. You know, usually we say you can't arrest your way out of this, but there has to be that component from what we hear. Then it's treatment. It's the Naxalon, the drug that helps revive people who have overdosed.
We've done a series of stories on
that. But it's serious, intense treatment and control of opioids. So it's a crisis that, you know, that I don't recall of this magnitude and of this severity.
And in your writing, I think you concluded that hopefully people will begin to pay attention, or more people will get this, even, you know, not the addicts, but the people that are out there that may be able to do something.
I mean, you see the numbers and you see them in drips and drabs, and you know there are people behind the stories. But when you start to see those numbers, or you see this anecdotal, I mean, you know, 3 overdoses, 3 days at one house.
It's intense.
I mean, yeah, are you kidding me? Really?
Right.
And so I think that's the thing where, even though you read about the individual stories, you know, so here's an overdose here, here's one there, but then you read, you know, in Manatee County, emergency technicians have administered this Naxalon 450 times already this year.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah, it is.
Tom, thank you so much for your insight on this very important matter.
Sure, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.